Are you a new or returning player coming back into Battlefront 2 in 2025? Well, don't fear, because this is the series for you. Welcome to the How To series, where we break down every hero in Battlefront 2, from the dark side to the light side, from saber heroes to blaster heroes. This is the series for you. We will break down every single hero's star cards, abilities, general kit, and strengths and weaknesses, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Hello everybody, my name is Swag and welcome back to the How To Battlefront series. And it's been some time, okay, it's been 2 months since the last How To Battlefront video, which I apologize. I've been doing different content from then. But my early or late Chinese New Year's resolution is to get this guide up and running by the end of the year. So hopefully we can do that. And what better way to get back in than finishing off the light side lightsaber heroes, ending with goddamn Rey Skywalker, Rey Palpatine, whatever her goddamn name is, okay? Rey, I originally had mixed thoughts. In the beginning of me playing Battlefront 2 a long while ago, I did not like her. I hated her, probably because of the movies. But her kit is actually really good for dueling specifically, and we'll get onto that very soon. Obviously, we start this part of this section of the video with the abilities, starting with Dash Strike. Rey charges forward with her lightsaber, dealing damage to enemies on the way. This is a super busted ability, I want to say. If you're catching people off guard with this, you can instantly take away half of their HP and absolutely no problemos, right? This is just super nutty. If you just do the dash strike, then follow up with an immediate lightsaber swing, you can chunk out so much HP so quickly. With Rey having a really fast attack speed as well, you can land so many hits, and I mean, it's just ridiculous what you can do with this dash strike, and you can make it even stronger with cards as well. We'll get onto that later. Her middle ability, Insight. Rey senses her surroundings, revealing all nearby enemies to her while she disappears from their radars. Her stamina costs are halved and her damage is increased while this ability is active. I'll be honest, when I was playing Rey originally, I did not read this middle ability and I did not understand what it did. I thought all you could do is see through walls and that was it. How I was so wrong. There is a lot to do, to sort of pick apart from this little chunky paragraph here, and we'll start with the first bit. Rey senses her surroundings, revealing all nearby enemies while she disappears from radar. That's sort of what everyone thinks. You use the insight ability, then you can see through walls, you get x-ray vision, whatever, right? That's neat. It's a little niche sort of thing. It might be good for trooper modes if you want to see where all the big enemies are, so that you can either push or run away. But the real saving grace for this ability, I think, is the second part of this ability. Her stamina costs are halved and her damage is increased while Insight is active. What can I say? This is the ability that's really good for dueling. She gets extra damage and she gets less stamina drain. Both are great things for dueling. Like, having more stamina is great, especially with the less drain. You can throw in more attacks, which is great for her because she can throw an absolutely egregious amount of lightsaber swings in there because of her really quick attack speed. And obviously with stamina, you can block. So you get more block. It's great for defense and great for offense, which is amazing. Extra damage, always good. And you get this for free just by literally clicking this ability. Like, I don't know the exact figures of how much extra damage she gets, but I will whack it on the screen right now. Just so you guys can see. So it's pretty good middle ability. Great for dueling, and also great for trooper modes. Finally, her mind trick ability. Rey causes nearby enemies to be dazed and confused for a brief duration. This ability sort of can really catch new players off guard, especially if you don't know how the inverse controls work. Obviously, if you have 10 million hours on this game, you will know how to counter the mind trick, right? It's easy. You either jump in the sky, or if you're experienced, you will dash backwards by dashing forwards. It depends on your inverse controls. But mind trick can be easily countered, but most people aren't used to it, or the new player specifically will struggle to play against Mind Trick. It's just something you need to play against and sort of experience more and more so that you can understand how to properly and effectively get away from Mind Trick. You know, you can block to try and stop her from what people usually do is they will Mind Trick first and then they will follow up with a dash strike, or they will try and get behind you and then do a dash strike. If you could block potentially, but it's more better to just dodge out the way when possible, or jump to higher ground so that she can't get behind you. Mind Trick that also doesn't last too long. It lasts a few seconds. I can't actually recall the amount of time, but it lasts a few seconds. Okay, so there is a brief window for her to try and get some damage in, and use her dash strike combo to just absolutely obliterate you. Once again, this is something you just need to experience to try and be able to understand how to counter her properly. With Mind Trick, it's usually you dodge away, or you can follow up with ability. If you notice, she's using Mind Trick and then Dash Strike. If you have an ability available, use it. If you have Choke, great counter, because she can't block while she's in the Dash Strike. If you have a Chokehold for Maul, if you have a Freeze for Kylo, even a Pull to try and get out of that Dash Strike, good to use. Okay, any ability that can stop her from charging at you with her left ability is going to be a great counter. Otherwise, if you have no ability, dodge out of the way and block. Okay, so that is her ability kit. Now, obviously, we move on to her cards. I also don't have every card unlocked, so I mainly have the important ones. Starting with Balance. Rey gains an extra dodge ability charge, but her stamina drains faster. Now, is this card useful? Yes, I use it all the time for dueling, for HVV, mainly those sort of game modes. I'm not exactly sure how effective this would be in trooper modes. I would assume worse because you get increased stamina costs, but the extra dodge is nice to have. Like Count Dooku, you get 3 dodge charges, which is good if you want to get behind your opponents. Dodging allows you to sort of evade abilities as well. You get like a brief second of immunity there, which is great to have. Okay, I mainly think getting more dodge charges is particularly great for dueling scenarios. If you need to back away and you need to block, you can dodge out of the way. Cool. You get more dodge charges with her kit, which is absolutely amazing to have. I use this all the time for dueling and HVV. I reckon you guys should give it a try as well. The increased stamina cost could be a problem for you if you think stamina management is difficult. But if you kind of get used to this card, you'll understand when you need to back away, when you can then start attacking. It's something you need to just get used to. Her next ability, Farsight. Insight has an increased AoE. Now, this card kinda doesn't really matter too much. We just mentioned that Insight gives you extra damage and extra or decreases your stamina drain just by clicking the ability. Does it benefit us for it to have an increased AoE? Not really. Unless you want to increase your X-ray vision, this is not a card you should be having on anyway. Maybe in trooper mode you can make an argument, increased AoE, so you can see through walls a lot further away. Sure, that one maybe I could understand. In HVV and dueling, having an increased farsight AoE does not really benefit the player that much. You're already getting the increased damage, you're already getting the less stamina drain. By clicking the ability, this card does not do anything else. So take with that information as you will. Street Fighter. As a self-trained fighter, Rey's melee strikes drain less stamina. This is great. You get even more stamina drain reduction. Pair this with your Insight ability. Now you have absolutely no stamina drain with your cards. Now, obviously, some people who are more experienced will argue, you don't need this card because, they can manage their stamina so easily. Fine. That argument makes sense. But for newer players, for people who are struggling with their stamina management, you're sort of spamming your attacks, you're not really blocking, you're not really disengaging properly. This card will allow you to play a bit more offensively, play defensively. Like, there's loads of different play styles you can do here, and having less stamina drain is going to be super effective for new players. And I would advise any new player to start with having more stamina, as much stamina as possible, so that you can understand when the right time to engage is and when the right time to disengage is. So stamina cards are always going to be very effective for new players. For obviously more experienced players who can manage their stamina, you can shift away from these stamina cards if you feel you are confident in your stamina management. Resilient Dash. Ray receives less damage while charging forward with Dash Strike. This damage reduction is very nice. At purple card, it can get 40%. That is absolutely insane. What is the benefits of this card? Well, you get that damage reduction. Could you play it in potentially dueling modes? I guess. The thing is damage reduction going to be necessary with her? In dueling scenarios, if you use the dash strike, you would probably get countered by an ability, like let's say choke. So that won't really play into the damage reduction as much. It's more so the damage you take from blaster shots and lightsaber swings, which will only count, not the abilities. So in that case, I wouldn't say this is a really good card to have for HVV or dueling, mainly more so for trooper modes, Galactic Assault, Supremacy, all those game modes. That would make sense to run this card. Otherwise, on, like I said, HV and dueling, I wouldn't really run this card so much because you won't really be able to use it. You're mostly blocking attacks. You won't be running in with a resilient dash onto someone who has block. That doesn't really make sense. So the damage reduction, you won't really see the benefit in that game mode, but in trooper modes, you will see the benefit 100%. So if you want to, you could probably ideally use this for those trooper modes. Otherwise, run a different card. Damage and strike. Ray will deal more damage with dash strike for each target that is hit. So, if you hit one person, you will get, at a purple card, 30% extra damage. Jesus Christ. That is a lot. Already I could see the benefits in trooper modes. There's no question about it. If you have literally a battalion coming towards you, use dash strike and you will kill all of them. No problems there. You get 30% bonus damage per hit. You will insta-kill. In HVV modes, you should also get a bonus to the damage when you use this dash strike, because if I recall correctly, I could be wrong, but her animation does two instances of damage in the beginning and then at the very end when you flick your lightsaber up. So at that point, you would get the 30% extra bonus damage. So this will basically just increase your damage with dash strike, which is great to have. It's free extra damage, and you get 30%, which is absolutely insane. Plus, her attack speed is crazy. So the follow-ups you can do will literally chunk away so much of the enemy's HP, the enemy villain's HP. This card you could honestly say is a must-have if you really like playing into dash strike. Otherwise, if you're playing into someone who's very experienced, who knows how to counter this, it's gonna be a bit of a waste of a card. If someone knows how to perfectly dodge dash strike or counter with an ability, this extra damage is going to be pointless and useless because you won't be able to land your dash strike in the first place. So it depends on your matchup if you're going against an experienced player or someone who's new. If they're new players, damaging strike would be beneficial. If they're not new, you might need to reconsider cards. Strong Mind. Mind Trick has an increased AoE. A 30% increase in AoE at a purple card is pretty damn good. Um, Obviously, the extra range would be great for trooper modes. If you can reach further away with the Mind Trick, that's great. They're basically going to be guaranteed kills for you. In hero modes, if we're talking about the Mind Trick, once again, if people know how to counter the Mind Trick, this card is going to be sort of pointless. Okay. The only benefit is that you get the increased range, so you can potentially get more targets. But if they know how to counter Mind Trick, it's going to be a bit useless. That is why I'm a bit hesitant on saying you should have this card. Once again, if you're going against inexperienced players who don't know how to counter Mind Trick, this could be a card you could use. That would be understandable. Experienced players will know how to counter it, and therefore Mind Trick will be useless, right? So really, two of her abilities are kind of useless against experienced players, but against new players, they can be quite dangerous and potent. So her playstyle is very matchup dependent against an experienced player versus a new player. Next, Focus Sight. Insight will be active for a longer period of time. I don't have this card unlocked, but this card is good. Okay, I don't know why I don't have it unlocked. Having 7 extra seconds of duration in a fight is super good. We just discussed what Insight does, and we mainly care about the second part of the ability, which is that you get less stamina drain and you get more damage. We want Insight to be up and running literally for the entire fight. Focus Sight is going to allow us to do that. It will allow us to get our decreased stamina drain for a longer duration, and we get the increased damage for a longer duration. This card would honestly be a no-brainer for things like dueling, HPV, maybe even in trooper modes as well. Like having the extra time is super beneficial for us, especially 7 extra seconds. That is a lot of time in a duel as well. Deep Mind. Mind Trick has a longer duration on targets that are revealed by Insight. Step 1 is you use Insight to reveal the enemy. Step 2, then you use Mind Trick, and that will increase the duration by 30%. This combo would work because usually you are using your Insight. Literally, every time Insight comes up, you should be spamming Insight because that's how useful it is. Every single time in a duel, use Insight. It's going to help you with the extra damage you deal, and also it will decrease your stamina drain. Now, what this card is saying is that if the person has been marked by Insight, so you'll see them with a white glow around them, and you use the Mind Trick on them, that will allow the Mind Trick to work for a longer duration on them. Is this card going to be useful? Potentially. Like, it once again, this is super dependent on your matchup. An experienced player that knows how to counter Mind Trick effectively will not have any problems with playing against a Ray player like this with this card. If they know how to dodge properly, if they know how to use the right abilities at the right time, Mind Trick is basically a useless ability. Against new players, this card would absolutely be hell for people. People would literally jump off the map in Bespin, whatever map you're playing, Kashyyyk, Camino, people will literally just jump off the map if you use Mind Trick. So this extra duration could be useful there. Um, it just depends. I wouldn't really say people should be playing into Mind Trick too much because it's very easily countered at high levels. So that's my opinion there. Take with that information as you will. Go into matches playing around with Mind Trick. If you find that people do fall for the Mind Trick and you can get behind them, this card could be useful for you because that will allow them to be immobilized for a longer duration and allows you to be more offensive in your playstyle. Next up, Opportunist. Ray deals bonus damage to enemies affected by any immobilizing effect, including Mind Trick. Once again, this is a Mind Trick card, so I'm going to say the same thing for all I said for the other Mind Trick cards. Matchup dependent. The bonus damage you deal can be good, okay? If you can land a Mind Trick on someone and then follow up with Dash Strike with this card, you're going to be doing 15 extra damage plus 30 extra damage. Like, you're going to be doing so much damage to that person. They're going to get instantly deleted. Plus, you get extra attack. You get the extra damage from Insight. Bro, she literally has so much ways to gain extra damage. It's honestly unreal. And her crazy attack speed as well. Like, brother, she absolutely melts HP so quickly. So this card would honestly be pretty good for just raw damage. If we're looking at raw damage cards, Damaging Strike, Opportunist, and then probably Focused Sight, you just have raw damage all the way. I mean, I would see this card as being useful. Could this be good for maybe trooper modes? Definitely. I believe you should be able to one shot. I mean, if you mind trick people and then go in with dash strike, yes, you will one shot. I'm pretty sure you should also one shot with your basic lightsaber swings. Oh, apart from heavies, heavies have more HP, so they won't get one shot. But this card should take out basic infantry with one lightsaber swing. You use mind trick on them, and then you follow up with the lightsaber swing. They should die. Obviously, to get the best effects, you should get the purple card, which is at level 4, and then you get purple cards, I believe, at level 20-ish around there. So make sure you get purple cards for all the good cards that would be useful in maybe HVV, dueling, or trooper modes. So now that we have discussed all the different cards available to us. Let us break down which cards are going to be effective for dueling and HVV. I think there are loads of different ways you could play her. As far as the card selection goes, you actually have quite a lot of options. I think a lot of people would definitely do balance. They would play into her dash strike and focus sight. Something like this. I do see a lot of people running mind trick cards, which is kind of, it is what it is. It depends on the Ray player. If they're really good, and they know how to like go in with the mind trick, they could probably shred your ass very quickly. But this setup here, where you get the extra dodge, you do extra damage with your dash strike, and you get a longer duration for focus sight, is going to be really, 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 really good. The less stamina drain, just extra damage in general with insight. Then you get extra damage with your dash strike, and then you get an extra dodge. Like her cards are really good at some of these cards are super good. So that's the first setup. The second setup you could do is, I mean, I've seen it before. You could do a triple mind trick. You can go with strong mind, you can go with deep mind, and then you can go opportunist. If you want to be an absolute mind trick fiend. Um, I personally think the benefits of having a dodge, a longer insight, and extra damage with the dash strike is effective. I can also see a play where newer players could include Street Fighter. Um, if you have balance, Street Fighter, and then you could either do damaging strike or focus sight. That setup would also work. I think the stamina drain, the just being able to drain less stamina, followed by your insight ability, which drains less stamina. Like you can stack these on top of each other, and you can throw as many lightsaber swings as possible and block for an infinite amount of time. So that's why this setup here is really nice to have. The third card is completely up to you, up to your playstyle. Do you like dash strike? Increase the damage. Do you like insight? Increase the duration. I would advise probably going into insight specifically, just because two of her abilities can be hard countered by pretty much anything. Dash strike, I'll give a little tip. Dash strike can be really effective if the opponent doesn't have any abilities. If you know the Vader has used his choke and the Vader has used his lightsaber throw a few seconds ago, you can go in with dash strike because he cannot do anything. The only thing he can do is either run away or block. You have the advantage in offense there. So that is the dueling and HVV scenario. What about the trooper modes, the galactic assaults, the supremacies, the co-op? What are we saying? Resilient dash would be very nice to have. Getting a 40% damage reduction is super good for trooper modes because you're going to be taking a lot of damage and you need to be surviving for as long as possible. Less damage reduction is always good to have. At the same time, I see the extra damage you could do with dash strike. You can rack those bonus damage up hits pretty good, pretty nice, pretty big damage just for running around hitting opponents. And I could see a play for balance as well, getting the extra dodge so that you can hide behind cover, or you can play into um, insight, or you can play into mind trick. Honestly, for the trooper modes, there is a lot of variety. It simply depends on your play style. If you like the dash strike and you find it satisfying to run in there and kill 30 people with literally the dash strike, these two cards would be a must-have. At the same time, I see the vision for Street Fighter having less stamina drain on your melee strikes. I see the vision there. That would be a good card to have. Insight, even that this Farsight card would be good to have because you can X-ray through walls for a wider radius. This would be a good thing to have. Balance, just getting the extra dodge is good to have so that you can hide behind cover. Having an increased AoE mind trick allows the enemies to miss their shots more and then potentially allow you to either run away or go in there and get some kills. Like there is a lot of options for what cards you could play for those trooper modes. I suppose it would depend on what you prefer using more, but literally all these cards, to be honest, are really good for trooper modes. I can't really give the exact set for what I would use. I would probably run Resilient Dash, Damage and Strike, and then Farsight, to be honest. Because you're going to be kind of playing like a little bit of a rat. You're going to be going in and then going out as quickly as possible. You're trying to do as much damage in a short amount of time, and you also want to be able to see where the enemies are. So this card would be very good for being able to increase your awareness of the map, understand where enemies are, and plan your next move in that moment. So I think Farsight, Resilient Dash, and Damage Strike is a good setup for trooper modes. There are many different setups you could do for these trooper modes. This is just one of them. Feel free to play around and see if you prefer different options. If you do have different options for cards, specifically in trooper modes or HVV or dueling, let me know, because I know this is not the right answer specifically for trooper modes. I don't think this is like the best of the best. It literally depends upon you, bro. But this setup is very, very nice. So that has been Rey Skywalker, the reveal and explanation of her kit. Apologies once again for me being away for so long. I was just playing other games, and Battlefront 2 was sort of dying down. But hopefully there are people that still are willing to watch these guides. It does take me a while to do these particular types of videos where I put a decent amount of effort into. I do thank all the support, all the likes, all the comments that I do get on these guides. Um, they do mean a lot. I read all of them, all the comments, and I am thankful for the support. I would just once again ask you guys to like and subscribe if you've stayed through till the end of the video. That definitely shows that you are someone who is willing to watch my videos. You are someone who's really engaged with me, and I would appreciate the support by just dropping a like, subscribing or commenting, and just kind of boosting the motivation that I need for these videos. We are almost there with finishing the lightsaber heroes. We have just finished the light side. We've done Darth Maul, we've done Vader, we've done Kylo. So we have Grievous and Dooku left. So those will be the next two videos. If you guys want to see a playlist of all the different lightsaber heroes that I've done so far, I'll link it below in the description. And yeah, that's been your boy Swag, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye. いいや限界だ。押すね。今だ。